Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kimchica and today's Indiescovery is going to take a deeper dive into Rising Dusk, an indie game by Studio Stoby. If you're new here, again, welcome to the channel. Indiescoveries are my chance to go again into a deeper dive in an indie game and tell you what I think so that you can make informed decisions about whether you think it's something you'd be interested in or not. So what did I think about this yokai-filled title? Well, let's jump in and see. Studio Stoby is run by Lucas Stoby, who's a Melbourne artist and game designer based in Tokyo, so you can probably see where a lot of his striking visual inspiration originated from. Rising Dusk will immerse you in a world of hot springs, rice paddies, traditional villages, kappa-filled forests, and even a nightclub? If the environments aren't enough to keep your attention, the cast of characters certainly will. Between the Onibaba, the Kappa, and numerous other yokai that I still need to look up to learn more about, I just kept saying one more level after each area just so I could see what was going to come next. This vibrant and extraordinarily detailed 16-bit art style is a feast for the eyes and fuel for the imagination. Your eyes aren't the only one getting a treat. The music could easily stand on its own, and I will be listening to the songs on their own outside of playing the game. Think chill hip-hop with a touch of traditional Japanese folk music type of influence. While it is beautiful to explore, being a human in the spirit world is a bit concerning. You play as a young girl, Tamako, who at the start of the game wanders into the spirit realm while chasing a yokai who looks like another child. Who is this mysterious spirit, and more pressingly, how will Tamako get back? The game gets started pretty quickly, and while there is plot, don't expect long monologues or exposition. This game felt more like an excuse to see the visuals in each level and experience the unique mechanics, more so than convey a strong narrative focus. So, while you shouldn't expect a ton of story here, the atmosphere and world building are outstanding. What sets Rising Dusk apart gameplay-wise, since we've already established the visuals and audio are top-notch, is the fact that we must resist, or at least be more aware of, acting upon our natural urge as gamers to collect all the things. Collecting all the coins is not necessarily good, and in Rising Dusk it actually can impede your ability to progress, so move through the levels carefully. Throughout the 20+ levels, you'll see numbered blocks. These numbers represent the number of coins needed to remove that block as an obstacle. Sounds simple enough until you realize that in some cases you need those dang blocks to get from point A to point B, and at least when you start out, once you've collected a coin, you're kind of stuck. In the first few levels, this admittedly caused not frustration necessarily, but an element of feeling like I had to use a little bit of haphazard trial and error to be able to get through the level or to collect all of the items available. All too often, I would avoid coins to find out I needed another one to grab the collectible, or perhaps I had too many and I wasn't able to use the blocks to stand and progress further. Later on, you do get things that help you a bit. For example, tanukis will love to take a coin or two off your hands, and you can use that to your advantage. The more you play, that feeling of trial and error will decrease as you become more cautious about running through levels, but that doesn't change the fact that, particularly when starting with this game, you'll find yourself realizing you have too many or too little coins, and if you're wanting to collect the tapes and statues, you will need to restart at least once or twice. Levels are quick enough that it doesn't take that much time to figure out and finish, but when it felt like the game was working a little bit against me at times, it didn't feel great. That being said, if you don't mind replaying levels, or if you're not as into collecting all of the items, this element of having to plan and restart may not be something you mind, or even something you notice very much. Controlling Tamako was fine, the skill progression was well structured, and I never felt like I had no idea of what to do. For me, the area of improvement I saw most in this game would be to provide more tells, hints, or clues so a player can feel prepared for what may lie ahead. Despite some of the design and layout issues, there are some wonderful levels and variations in gameplay. One level in particular where you realize you must look at the shadows instead of what you see in the foreground for guidance was really fun, and it was an interesting challenge. Or the Tanuki City, where you got to explore the houses in addition to playing with both avoiding and utilizing the Tanuki who have sticky fingers and want to take your coins. In addition to little twists like that, the bosses scattered throughout adds lots of extra personality. For example, very early on, you'll encounter a floating head that allows you to apply what you've learned about the Tanuki, as well as manipulating appearance of platforms to your advantage. This was a well-done battle in the sense that it brought together multiple elements I had learned and practiced, but in a new way. The game as a whole consistently progresses and builds on itself very well. The catch, though, was that the battle, and many subsequent battles, were very simple and easy to beat the first time through. Rising Dusk impressed me immensely with its visuals, soundtrack, and concept. This is a game I've enjoyed throughout the past week, just popping in for breaks between work projects, and every time I jumped in, the world Studio Stoby created never failed to impress. It always felt a little bit like Dorothy going from boring, monochrome Kansas to a technicolor, dream, yokai-filled world that I wish I could have explored even more. There are certainly small aspects I would tighten up, most notably having at least a few more tells for the player to not feel like certain coin placements are a surprise, having to restart as a result, as well as maybe making Tamako's movement a little bit more sticky to help with precision, again as a result of some of that coin placement, but this was an overall enjoyable experience to play. I would have also loved a yokai directory because there were so many interesting creatures that I had not seen before or maybe not known the inspiration from that it would have been cool to be able to read more about them within the game. But that's just bonus and me being selfish and wanting more content. As always, I would love to hear your input and see what you think. What are some of your first impressions of seeing this game? And if you've played Rising Dusk, I would love to hear what you thought of the gameplay as well. I am but one person, these are just my thoughts, and I would love to see some of the comments that you guys regularly bring to the table that are just so awesome and really help inform what I look at when I look at games as well. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy indie games like I do, please consider subscribing to this channel. I not only do these reviews or Indiescoveries as I like to call them, but I also curate lists of games that I think are really good that you should take a look at, as well as do first impression videos and the occasional let's play or freestyle dance video to video game music. Those are a little bit less frequent lately, so maybe I'll have to jump back and start doing some of those again. And finally, if you enjoy live streams and would love hanging out with me in real time, feel free to check out twitch.tv/Kimchica. It's where I stream indie games with one of the kindest and spiciest communities on the internet. And again, it's just really relaxed, really positive, and I hope to see you there if live streaming is your thing. I should probably tell you when I go live. It's Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, barring any work events or related things. And speaking of work, I also stream for my workplace. It's called Utomic, and I stream Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/Utomic. So if you really like me and you want to hang out, feel free to check me out there as well. So that is it. I hope you are having a wonderful day, that you're playing lots of great indie games, and I will see you in the next video.